Hey, Jenny here from Oil This by Jenny, showing you how you can oil just about anything. And today we are talking about how to come back to your yoga practice after a back injury. And we'll be using oils first, essential oils, to show you how you can support, pain in your back, pain in your body, even emotional states. And then I'm going to go into the protocol that I used, and then just how do I get back onto the yoga mat, and very subtle exercises to do once you've had a really major back injury. So quick history, because I know everyone's back injuries are very, very different. So, what I really want to instill here is that this practice is for you to get back on your yoga mat and just to be more aware and start to have that awareness of the pain, start to have awareness of the body, and that you need to move safely for you and for your body, okay? So my injury was a very old injury, spinal injury. I was dropped from about this high onto my coccyx bone. So I had a shock that went up my spine. And what happened was all of my muscles went into spasm. And no one could really figure out what was going on. So sometimes that old injury gets re-injured. If I do a deep pose or I do a really intense workout. And so this was a really deep exercise that I was doing, and it happened again. The back spasm happened. So I was in the tub doing Epsom salt baths with essential oils, ice, a lot of ice packs, a lot of heat, and then I would go through this combination of oils. So I'll show you that first. So the first thing that I did was I started taking the turmeric double encapsulated. This is quite a unique and new capsule that doTERRA has created to not only get you the curcuminoids that help inflammation in powder form, but the turmerones, which come from the turmeric essential oil. They've combined them in a double encapsulation, which means it really gets to the points that need it, so they're not getting eaten up by the stomach acid. And then the deep blue polyphenol complex has curcuminoids in it as well. And this is a great supplement to supplement the deep blue rub, which I don't have with me, but I will show you the oil instead. And so the rub is a lotion that comes, it's the oil form in a lotion. You put it all on your entire back. Now, if you don't have anyone to put the deep blue rub on your back, please get somebody, because this is the time for you to ask for help, right? When we're injured, we shouldn't feel ashamed of asking for help. Your neighbor, your spouse, your family member, bring it to a massage therapist and say, hey, I'm here to heal. Can you please rub this all over me? You will love me for it, and you're welcome. So the oils that I started using before coming to the mat were a combination of the copaiba, which is a full body soothing oil. It really helps just soothe my entire body. I compare this oil to CBD, except it's a little bit stronger for me in terms of the healing capacity. Frankincense, again, it's a full body kind of anti-inflammatory. And then I'll use the deep blue, right, which has helichrysum in it, very healing, has wintergreen, camphor, all the things that are super, super soothing to the body when it's broken. And I mixed I think I did about 15 of the deep blue, I did 10 of frankincense and 12 of copaiba. I added fractionated coconut oil to the bottle so that it doesn't harden, the oil in the cold weather. And you just shake it up, and when I start the healing process, I just rub it all over my neck, right? And then the muscle, the trapezius muscle, goes all the way up into the skull, right? So the muscles actually come way up here. The other thing that we're working on that I might talk about throughout the practice is occipital neuralgia. So I want you to pick that up. Maybe it's something that you have felt, that you've never been diagnosed. Occipital neuralgia is when all of these muscles tense way up into the skull, and it's usually from stress or something that you're going through. And this is just something you want to really pay attention to and get massaged and get these oils way up into the hairline there, okay? So I can feel this already working, okay? You can put this anywhere on your back that feels pain. let's get into the practice. If you're interested in wondering how to get these essential oils for your practice, I'll put the link below with all of them together, so it'll be easy for you to purchase. So at home, you can grab a strap, you can grab a tie, you can grab a scarf, whatever you have handy that will be available to you to wrap around your feet. Okay? So the first thing is you just come down onto the mat. This could be painful in and of itself, right? Just being here for the first time without pain. So you want to start to reach the head back, reach the tailbone away from you, and just feel your body on the mat. For some people, you might just, this will be enough. For some people, you might put your legs up the wall, and that could be enough. Another thing you can do before you come down onto the mat is stand against your wall. Totally back flat, heels down against the base of the wall, and you just very lightly hug a pillow or a blanket in between your knees. And you just stand there. And this really helps all the muscles in the back relax. So you might just do that, you know, for a while, but after you've been injured, the best thing for me is just to lie here. So the first thing is to just start to bring one leg at a time up to the ceiling. So you might just bring the heel up and then point through the toes. And again, inhale and exhale through the toes, right? It's all about maintaining that breath, because when we hold our breath, the oxygen isn't flowing through our body, and that's actually when injury can occur more. So you always want to continue that breath. Inhale. Get the hair off your leg, exhale. If you shed like me. Inhale, reaching through, and exhale. Okay, just playing with that. Noticing how it feels to flatten the back, the low back. You can bring the second side up. Inhale through the heel. Exhale through the toes. Now the other thing that happens when you're injured is you have to lie down for a few days, right? So everything else actually starts to get really tense. So we're doing this for a few reasons. We're doing it so we can feel the back flat and just see how our back is and prepared, you know, to that flat earth and feeling supported by the earth. But we're also noticing the tightness in our legs, because everything's connected, right? Everything's connected through the hips. And so we want to make sure we're kind of feeling and loosening everything up. And just getting that breath circulating through the entire body. Right? Exhale here. So then I want to bring a little resistance into it. So that's when I'll bring my strap in. Strap it around the ball of the foot, maybe in the middle. Now you want to be sure to relax everything else. We don't want to start to tense up the arms and tense up the shoulders here because we're holding onto the strap. We actually want to relax everything down. Okay? So you'll start to get a feel of, should I hold on really, really low? You know, how long are your arms? How long is the object you're holding? And just go through that same process. Release the shoulders, let the head come back, breathe in. Let the tailbone go away from you, exhale. And maybe you linger here a little bit on the ball of your foot, the strap on the ball of your foot, letting the toes come towards your face, inhale. And then exhale, let the strap slide down to the calf. Okay? Now you can play here very subtly. I feel a very subtle movement in the low back and the sciatic area. And so I'm moving my right leg in line with my left one here, seeing how that feels. And then I'm bringing it towards me a little bit. I feel a little resistance in my hamstring. See how that feels. And I might go back and forth like this with the toe pointed, strap at the heel. Okay, so you're just moving in space and just seeing how that feels. Again, even though I am bringing my hands, wrapping them a little further up the strap, I'm still relaxed in the shoulders. Just wanted to give a little more resistance here. Inhale. And exhale. release. So from here, I'm going to release this foot down. I'll do the second side and then we'll do a little bit more on that first side. Get the hairs out of there. Go ahead and strap your foot. If you need to bend your knee more to do so, go for it. And just feel it in space. Again, every single time we move, we go back into our habitual movement. So inhaling, straightening the spine back out, letting the back of the head come back. And then letting the tailbone reach in the opposite direction. Relaxing the shoulders. And then exhale toward the heel, okay? Letting, again, that foot, that leg come in line with the opposite leg. And just see how that feels in the low back. See if it kind of catches anything or triggers anything. And it's a point where you might want to spend a little more time and breathe, right? Or you might not be ready to let it hang out there yet. So just taking a few more moments here. Now what I'm doing with my hips is I'm doing this back and forth thing where I'm reaching the right hip forward and left hip back, and then vice versa. And I'm just seeing how my back likes to be in space there, because you can feel, you know, a lot of information coming just from these subtle internal movements. Inhale, the last thing I'm doing is inhaling, lifting the belly a little bit, like the navel toward my back, and I'm lifting my pelvic floor, so the pelvic muscles at the base of the pelvic bowl. I call them the I have to pee muscles. I gotta pee muscles. Pull those up, right? Just so you can start to engage all the muscles down here and rehab kind of everything together. And then exhale, release. All right. So now, I'm gonna just see, you can keep the strap with you if, when you put your foot up to the ceiling, if you can't reach very easily behind the thigh, right? So if you have long arms like me, you can reach behind the thigh and still relax the shoulders here, right? Top of the chest. If you need the strap here though, you could just hold the strap here. Now here, we're gonna actually start to try and extend the foot. Now you might keep the foot on the mat and just start to inch away, or you might find a little more resistance in the muscles of the left leg and reach through the heel. Okay, and then what we do what we call scissoring, which is reaching the same energy through both heels. So the same one reaching up to the ceiling as reaching away from you. Okay? If this is too much, you're going to back off with the resistance and energy in both and just pull that left foot back so it's not so straining here, right? And you can release that. Inhale. And then I'm just going to exhale, release it one more time. Now, whether that left leg is extended or bent doesn't matter. You're going to bend the right knee and start to bring it through. Now, if this is too much, to bring your hands on the outside of the knee and do a little bit of tugging, you can bring it on the inside, right? Again, you can use the strap. So you can bring your hands on the hamstring instead, okay? So I'm just pulling in just slightly, just noticing how that feels. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, maybe the right hip kind of comes in. Exhale, I push the right hip away, left hip comes in, okay? So just notice how that feels. Inhale, exhale, release. Go ahead, find neutral. I always love to find neutral in the middle. Maybe you need a little break, right? And just notice on one side versus the other how that feels. And then the second side. So grabbing the strap or clasping your hands behind the hamstring. Right hip back, left hip forward. Right hip back, left hip forward. Inhale. And then exhale, extend through that foot. Now, you see my diffuser going today. What I do before I start every yoga practice is I set the mood and I set the intention. So today's intention is just to be well, right? Just to find wellness, kind of find peace, knowing I have to start back at what's called a beginner's mind in yoga, right? We have to start at square one, or maybe worse than square one, right, when you have an injury. And I'm diffusing today 2 oils that resemble health and wellness, so geranium and eucalyptus. Geranium is something that I use for the skin. It's very soothing, it's very mild. You can use it on babies diluted, you can use it on children to kind of support wellness. And then eucalyptus is pretty well known for helping when you have a cough and a cold and that kind of wellness. But it also helps to encourage breathing, just remind you to breathe. So I like the combination of I did 1 drop of geranium and 4 of eucalyptus. So whatever combination feels good to you, smells good to you, inhale. And then exhale, release that knee in. Right, so setting the mood with essential oils is more than just setting the mood. It's a reminder to be well. It's actually opening the airways. It's creating an environment of wellness in the home. And so it's such a nice way to supplement your yoga practice. Good, and then exhale, release. Now what we're going to do now is come up to seated again, and I'm going to show you for those people who are either too tight in the legs or who maybe are a little bit further on in your rehab process of healing. I'm going to grab my tennis ball and my super ball. So here's my super ball. I'm going to see which one is a little more stiff. Yeah, I like that one. And then, and then you get a tennis ball as well. So what we do here is when you have an injury and you have a lot of stiffness in the legs and in the back, you're going to want to do this. So I start with a tennis ball. And I'm going to start by putting the tennis ball under the sit bone. So you feel when you sit straight up, those 2 knobby, bony bones right under your butt. And you want to get the ball, kind of sit on that just so you know where it is, and then right in front of it, just barely right in front of it. I can still feel it on the bone a little bit, so I'm moving it just millimeter by millimeter around, and you will know what I'm talking about. You feel the this band, this very tight band, right, just right there, and so it kind of catches. And so you're going, Jenny, why would I torture myself? Well, we want to loosen that up because we want to start to gain flexibility in the body to be able to heal all over. So we're going to inhale here and exhale. Try to find square hips as we're sitting down on this ball. Now what we're going to do is normally I would, do this for a half hour, for an hour maybe, if I'm watching a movie or something, you can just do this on your living room floor. And you're going to try to settle the body around this ball so that I can really soften the band that runs down the entire back of the leg that I hear a lot of complaints from people about, like, how can I loosen my hamstring, right? Inhale, you're going to move it 1 millimeter forward. Now, the timing really is up to you. You can start to feel, as you breathe in and relax the body around it, that it actually starts to do this catch thing, and it starts to just soften. And you'll kind of feel, okay, I could either stay here for 10 seconds or 30 seconds, or I could stay here for another minute on this one spot. You're going to inhale. When you're done, move it forward. Oh, that was a good one. And you can go side to side too. I feel it catching right about there. That's the sweet spot. Inhale. And I can feel this all the way down my leg, all the way into my Achilles, all the way into my heel. The leg bone's connected to the hip bone. And exhale. Relax. So what we're going to do is, you can stop the video here if you want to just run this the whole way down. Usually what I do is once I get all the way down towards the back of the knee, I don't really want to hang out at the back of the knee, and I also don't have enough weight there to do this. But you can keep it at your calf and just start to bend that left knee and find a little more weight as you lift yourself up. And I might massage my entire calf all the way down. It feels pretty glorious, actually. okay? And then you move on to the second side. Now, I won't do the whole second side for you, so you can stop the video, but the other thing that you can do, which it might even be more intense in a way, but also easier in a way, is if you get on a chair. So get on a nice, flat, sturdy chair and do this. And when you are on a chair, you have the ability to, once the tennis ball is under there, bend the knee, and you can actually feel it maybe a little more intensely that way. The reason I say it might be easier is because you don't have to hold up your back muscles as much if you're against a chair, right? So inhale, just do one more breath with you. And exhale. Now, the thing with when you're seated on a chair, you're going to have to kind of move the ball forward a little bit. When you're on your yoga mat, you don't have to move the ball, you can actually just move yourself. So you just roll back, and it's amazing how intense it is, just 1 millimeter at a time, okay? So pause the video if you want to do that whole entire thing. I'm just going to take it out here. Oop, and I can actually feel, just by doing that little bit, I'm sitting a little bit flatter, okay? The next step would be to take a super ball. I buy 3 of these at the dollar store, very cheap. And you're going to do the same thing, except on the muscles surrounding your spine. So you don't want to get it right on the spine, you want to get it on the muscles around your spine. So if you've ever been to a massage therapist, they always get the little sinewy muscles up and down the left and right side of your spine. So that's what we're going to try to target. And you bend the knees, pick up your hips, and just find those muscles that are from your gluteus maximus and all the way into the muscles of the back. And you're just going, it might actually feel really good to do the outer butt muscles here, the gluteus minimus and whatnot. But you just find a spot that you really need some love on, and you're gonna do it here. Now, same thing. You might move your body 1 millimeter at a time. Stay there, hang out. This might take you another hour, but believe me, it is so worth it when you have had a back injury, and you just go little by little, okay? And then once you get all the way up to the spine, so literally I'm at my living room and I'll just keep scooching, but for purposes of the video, I'm just gonna take it out and put it here. Once you get up to the upper back, that's where a lot of people, you know, start to realize, oh, it's actually shoulder muscles or shoulder issues. So I'll take the ball, put it way up at the upper back, and lift my hips to give me a little bit more weight, and then exhale the shoulders in all these different ways. Inhale, exhale, settle onto that ball. I might move it horizontally then, right? Left and right, and just notice, wow, where all that tension and tightness is. Inhale. And then make sure to take rest, because you don't want to work your thighs too much here, okay? If you have really intense shoulder pain, once you get up there, you can come back with the tennis ball. But just remember, you don't want to be so crooked on one side that you're causing, you know, pain on the other side just because you're trying to rehab now, okay? And then of course you do the whole entire left side and just even it out, okay? The very last thing I'm going to show you, if you guys are ready for it, is just that when we are rehabbing, once we get all the kinks out and once all the pain is gone, we actually want to start strength training, right? So just very simple. I'll go into this more in detail in future videos, but you can just bring your hands, palms down next to your bum, okay? Find a nice foundation with your feet and then your hands. Inhale. And as you exhale, push down and start to lift those hips for your bridge pose. Maybe just stay 3 breaths, maybe 5 breaths. See if your legs start shaking. All right, last one. And exhale. That might be all you do today. If you want to do a little more strength, you can do 2 more of those, okay? So I will finish just by saying again that if you want to be supported in your post-injury yoga and healing efforts, you're going to want to click down below at the link that has all these essential oils that I use to help with inflammation and to help with pain. You're going to go so much farther quicker in your healing process. So remember, this is the first video actually in a series of videos called Oils in 108, and stay tuned for more editions of how to use your oils in your yoga practice. Thank you so much. Have an awesome day. Bye-bye.